Hey everybody, Mark Agnesi here for Gibson TV. Very excited today. We have 3 simultaneous Kramer artist guitar launches. I am joined by all 3 of our first Kramer artists. My friend Tracii Guns, my friend Snake Sabo, and all the way in Peru, Charlie Parra. What's going on, boys?
Hey buddy, great to be here. Thanks for having us, man. This is great.
Snake and Tracii, when did Kramer first come on the map for you guys?
Go ahead, Trace.
Well, the only Kramer I ever owned was like a little cheap Pacer, like because I had to have one. I mean, everybody was playing them in like, I don't know, mid 80s, I guess, like 85, 84. And I got a little white one with a Floyd Rose that didn't have a locking nut on it. And it was never in tune. No, it was a Striker. I had a Striker. And then I met Snake on tour was that 92?
Yeah, it was 92.
92. And he was supposed to give me a pink Kramer.
You remember.
And so that will officially be my my second great Kramer, because I already have my Gunstar. But it's all good, Snake, because I will get it.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will.
So
I already left it to you in my will, and I don't have much longer, so we're good.
But that's my whole Kramer legacy right now. I'm starting my Kramer legacy, basically.
Snake, you were in the thick of it, right?
Well, the great thing about it was when in 85, I started working at a music store in Toms River, New Jersey. And that's where I coincidentally met Rachel. We became friends, started writing together, and basically started putting Skid Row together at that time. Kramer was like in our backyard. They were in Neptune, New Jersey. The Bon Jovi guys were already working with them. So they brought us over there to meet Dennis Berardi, who was the owner at the time, and a bunch of the people in the company. And we're kids, we're penniless. And they immediately offered to help us out, and by helping us out, giving us guitars. And we were like, you've got to be kidding me. There's nothing like that had ever happened to us before. And the great thing was they were a Jersey company. As I said, they were right in our backyard. So it was a no-brainer. And we actually end up stealing one of their luthiers, Chris Hofschneider, to come out and be our guitar tech on that first tour and subsequent tours to follow. But we were so enamored with their guitars. It wasn't like, oh, great, we got a free guitar and this guitar sucks. They were great. They played great. They sounded great. We used it all over our records, and built a very, very strong hometown relationship with them. And they were extremely, extremely supportive of us. So when things started going downhill a little bit for the company, we were brokenhearted because they were family to us. And so this whole opportunity that came along with the rebuilding of the brand and the resurgence of the name and the company was, for me, it was so heartwarming, because it allowed me to become a part of the family again, and which I'm very proud of and I'm humbled by.
Charlie, you're from a whole different generation, man. Where did you find out about Kramer? Was it artists that you watched growing up, or how did your Kramer story begin?
Actually, I performed in a festival in Colombia, right here in South America, on 2010. And after this performance, one of the Gibson Epiphone guys was there, and we stayed in touch on emails. And the proposal to work for Kramer was pretty similar. Like the brand was getting rebuilt, right? Relaunch for the brand, and it was very exciting because for me, Kramer is pretty much the guitar solos that when I started playing guitar was in the early 2000s, right? So rock bands, like mainstream rock bands, did not have guitar solos, right? It was, right? They did not have guitar solos. So I had to look back to the 80s. And there's where I found out that everyone was on Kramer. And so working with Kramer right now at this point is a huge honor, man. And it's a huge honor to be talking to you guys. Really, really awesome.
Oh, wow.
Very cool. Well,
really,
you
really
guys
cool.
each have signature model guitars launching today. Snake, let's start with you because yours is kind of a legacy model. When I first came to Gibson, I walked into Czar's office, and on the wall was the Dennis Klein Snake graphic Baretta on the wall, and I got to play it for like the first 2 weeks before it got sent off. But we've recreated that guitar. What can you tell me about the original and how that whole came together?
When I was working at the music store, we would build guitars there as well. Again, we were in this town called Toms River, and Rachel would walk in the store. Zach Wild would walk in the store. We were, there was a strong musical community down there. So there was a guy there by the name of Paul Unkert who was building guitars in the back, and I was like, man, I've got to have a guitar built. And I had this idea for a paint job on it, and Rachel's older brother and Paul knew this guy who did air spraying for like vans and things like that. And so we got in touch with him, and I explained to him what I wanted, and that was the first thing that he came back with. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is insane looking. And so then we put the guitar together with like, Warmoth parts. And then it played good, but it didn't play great. And simultaneously, we were building our relationship with Kramer. So I said, look, I've got this guitar body that I love, but it's just not there yet. And they took it and they put on, the Kramer neck with the upside down headstock. I guess they were using Seymour Duncan's at the time. And a Floyd Rose, and they set it up and it was amazing. It sounded great. I used it all over the first record on that tour as well. I needed to utilize some other guitars because I only had the single pickup in there. So I needed to have some different tones as well. But I wanted to make it as simple as possible and as all around a guitar as I possibly could for the heavier stuff. And the only thing different about this model as opposed to that model is this model has a D tuner on it for the drop D stuff, which makes it easier for me on stage because we go from some drop D stuff to standard tuning. So flick of a switch and I'm in. And the pickup was made by Jim DeCola from
Jim DeCola humbucker. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. And that happened because when I first met Cesar and Jim and Aljon, Cesar was playing his Explorer as I walked in and it sounded insane. And I'm like, what pickup is that? And Jim was like, Cesar was like, Jim over here wound this pickup for me. I'm like, I want that. And this is before we even had the discussions of doing the signature model. We've been a band for 33 years and never once have I had anything like that. So at this stage of my career, to have like a signature model of a guitar that was born so many years ago, 36 years ago, is I can't express the gratitude I have accurately. And so that's how it all came to be.
Pretty cool, man. Now, Tracii, yours has got a fun shape. Tell me about the Tracii Gunstar Voyager.
Basically, I'm a Les Paul player, you know what I mean? And people know that, Yeah. But on the other side, I always have hot rod guitars too that don't get a whole lot of attention, but I need them. I mean, those albums that we made a long time ago, there's a lot of Floyd on there and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do, and I told Aljon, and it wasn't really possible at first, I wanted to take the construction of a Les Paul and make a star body, because I do have star body guitars, but I wanted a set neck, and then I wanted, instead of ebony, to have the maple fingerboard, so it looked like a classic, bolt-on Charvel style, Kramer style, vibe. And then we went with super low output, burst bucker pickups, which is exactly what I would use in my Les Paul. So we have a set neck, got low output PAFs, and the difficult part was having a set neck with a neck pickup, because the way that the neck is set is there's not much wood there, right where that pickup goes. And the first prototype didn't work. Alton's like, what graphic do you want? And I'm like, I want flames, but I don't want to have flames. You know, I was like, you know, it's just like so gnarly and so cool. And he goes, well, we could do like see-through flames, you know? And I'm like, ghost flames? He goes, we can do ghost flames. I go, let's do that. You know, so he came up with kind of like sparkly black with the ghost flames, which makes it kind of pop a little bit. So it's really, it's a pretty satanic guitar, to be honest. It's pretty evil, and I'm very happy with it. I'm just letting people know it's not a high output guitar. You know, whoever's watching this, is that it doesn't have like, you know, a super distortion or anything like that in it. So, you know, you're
Les Paul output style guitar.
Yeah, you know, and it's just got balls, man. It's great.
Now, Charlie, you're a Flying V guy. Tell me about the Charlie Parra Vanguard.
It's pretty much based on like the V guitar. I've always been a fan of like Randy Rhoads, also Wolf Hoffman from Accept on the video of Balls to the Walls.
Yeah,
like he looks really badass. You know, when with the white sneakers and the Flying V, it's pretty shocking and in a good way. And after watching those videos, I always thought that I wanted to be a V guy. I actually love Les Pauls a lot, and I own a 1991 Les Paul. But I think that because of my guitar style, sometimes I get the pickup selector between my picking hand. But yes, but the main idea of this guitar was to have it like the Vanguard from the 80s with a little modern twist, like EMG pickups, active pickups, the 57 and 66, which are not as loud and are as, you know, like this huge high output as the classic 81, 85s. Actually, you can get pretty nice clean tones. And when you're like doing the rhythm guitars, you can get the notes, and that's pretty cool from those pickups. And I think that with the wood and the shape of the guitar is pretty cool. And I actually liked it to be candy red, the color, because I like in my research for guitar solos and the guitar styles of the 80s, I was really hooked on the story of Robin Crosby, the tall guy from Rat, right? So he was a Flying V guy, like a big Flying V guy. And the King V, right? So I really like that color, and I said, why not putting it on this guitar, right? And actually, it's a Vanguard. It's a little bit smaller maybe than the V guy, the Flying V and the King V guitars, and that's pretty cool because I'm kind of a short guy, so it fits really good, and I believe there are pretty much lots of short guys that are going to enjoy this guitar.
That's right.
So it's pretty much like a classic shaped guitar with a little modern twist with the hardware.
Very awesome. See what I love here. We got a Baretta guitar. We've got a Star style guitar. We got a V guitar. We got one with active EMGs. We've got one with the new Jim DeCola humbucker. We got one with low output, kind of Les Paul PAF style pickups. There's a little bit of everything going on here. I'm really, really excited because we're all kind of metalheads here, and we all remembered. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, Snake, right when you were talking 85, 86, Kramer was the #1 selling guitar brand in the world. It outsold Gibson, it outsold Fender, it outsold everyone. It was the #1 brand. So we have a big legacy to live up to here. And we're up for the challenge because we're all so on board with Kramer. We're having so much fun over here doing it. Thank you guys so much for being the first crop of Kramer signature artists for this new relaunch. The guitars are all out today. Global.
Awesome.
The Charlie Parra Vanguard, the Snake Sabo Baretta, and the Tracii Guns Gunstar Voyager. Go to the Kramer dealer and check them out. Make some noise, turn it up loud. Thank you, boys, for being here. I hope to see you on the road again very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Hey, Mark,
thanks for having us and doing this, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. There's one thing I want to say, just a little thing that actually I want to thank Richard Akers for making Richard Akers for making the most comfortable, the most comfy guitar neck in the world. Thank you so much, Richard. I truly appreciate it, man.
Richard Akers and
so
Al
cool.
John together are a dynamic duo over there.
Yeah,
Guys, thank you so
definitely.
much. Be safe, stay healthy. I hope to see you guys all soon.
See you guys.
man.
Tracii, it was great to see you,
Definitely.
Tracii.
Thank
Charlie,
you.
it was nice to meet you. Take care of yourselves.
Later,
Nice
guys.
to meet you
Love
guys.
taking-
Thank you.